Hello YouTube, Librarian Larry here, and the big update we have all been waiting for is finally here. Field Offices. I got to play a bit of Field Offices before TTR went down for maintenance, so I wanted to give you my first impressions of everything I've experienced so far. Now I would like you to please keep in mind that I've only gotten to play about 2 hours of this update so far, so my opinions are far from final. And I plan on making a full-on review later on when I really get to experience all of the content. So to start, I jumped into a 3-star field office with 3 other toons to get the hardest experience possible. And boy was I not prepared for what was to come. A 3-star field office makes the CEO feel like a building in Donald's dock, and I feel like that's exactly what the game needed. To start, you are locked out of all but 3 of your gags. My group got to keep throw, toon-up, and drop, which is a pretty good combination. The first floor is waves of cogs that range from about level 7 to level 13 based on what I've seen. And yes, you heard me correctly, cogs go well past level 12 in these new buildings. Being limited to only 3 gag tracks makes us really think hard on different strategies. I've been in situations where I wasn't able to sound before, either because I was with a soundless toon or because my group ran out, but I've never been in a spot where I couldn't sound or lore, making things very difficult. Thankfully, you can use SOS cards, fires, or unites, so you do have some options if you are in an emergency. But they also added in a new feature that adds a 3-minute cooldown after you use a unite, so you have to space out your unites accordingly among your group. During the first floor alone, my group used multiple unites and an SOS card just to skate by. Next, we got to play the classic mover and shaker minigame from TTO. This game is fairly simple. You have to grab water balloons to hit the mega mover and shakers before the time runs out. You can also hit smaller cogs to recover jokes. This game is a lot of fun, although I don't have much to say about it since it was in the original Toontown Online. That being said, one piece of advice I can give is to be sure to collect extra jokes when you defeat the mega mover and shakers. My group made the mistake of not doing this and we weren't able to recover a 4th gag track, making the next floor extremely difficult. After another floor of cog battles, we got to play the all-new Cold Caller minigame. In this minigame, you have to skate into the thermostats to increase the temperatures, while the cogs attempt to lower them. You can also collect snowballs that can be thrown at the cogs to destroy them if you get close to them. Just be sure not to get hit or else you'll take some serious damage. Now at first this game threw me off because I'm used to being able to throw things at enemies in Toontown, but in all honesty I really like this new format because due to the slippery nature of the floor, it makes it a lot harder to avoid getting hit sometimes. This means you have to be a lot more careful than you would be if you could simply throw from a distance. Again, I haven't been able to play with it that much yet, but I think a fast-paced minigame like this with targets constantly going back and forth between cogs and the toons fits the style of field offices very well, and is a much welcome addition to help break up the battles. Finally, after clearing this, my group moved on to the final floor, where we got to fight the big baddie himself, the Boiler. Now let me just say right off the bat, this boss is so much harder than anything I have ever experienced in Toontown. The Boiler can summon groups of cogs to help deal damage to the toons, buff cogs, debuff toons, and attack directly. In the 3-star field office, he had 3 bars of health that needed to be taken care of before we could defeat him. You're gonna need to go all out for this one, as the cogs he summoned range from level 7 to level 15. In addition to that, he does have a promotion skill that raises the level of every cog on the field, which did make a cog level 16, so I have no idea what the max level actually is. He also has some attacks that are new to Toontown, like a burn attack that does damage over time, causing quite a bit of damage over the course of 3 turns, and an attack that does a whopping 80 damage, which is actually insane to see damage numbers that high. In addition to his offensive skills, he can buff the damage of the cogs attacks, increase the cogs defense, heal cogs, and take away a gag track for 3 turns. In my run, he took away toon-up and trap, which was a gag we did not have unlocked. So it is completely random what track he takes, and if you are lucky, he might take something you don't actually have. My group made it to his last bar of health, where we unfortunately ran into several glitches where most of our attacks didn't work, making it impossible to complete the boss. I understand it's only day 1, so glitches are definitely to be expected, but if everything had worked the way it was supposed to, I think my group probably would have been able to clear the field office, albeit with great difficulty, as we were constantly tuning up and luring in an attempt to survive. Now, so far, I personally love the boss. I think the difficulty is a nice change in pace, and the visual effects and music are nothing short of mind-blowing. And in all honesty, if you were to show this to me as a kid, I would have easily thought that this were made by Disney. But there is one thing I have a minor criticism of, and that's that drop gags do not impact him. According to the TTR Discord server, sound can damage him, making sound a lot better than drop. Lore does not affect him, which does make sense, so that means I am assuming that trap also can't hurt him either. Personally, I think they should have made it so only throw and squirt can damage the boss, since every group is guaranteed one of these 2 tracks. The current method gives sound an advantage over the other tracks, so you're always going to want to unlock it every time. Overall, I think field offices are an amazing update, and a great new piece of endgame content to keep longtime players entertained. I also think it gives you a reason to go back and do the other bosses as well, as because during my one run through we had to use multiple SOS cards, unites, and fires, which are items that I have a bunch of but don't actually use. And in an attempt to continue my field office adventures, I definitely see myself using most if not all of these items that I have stocked up, which means that I'll actually have a reason to go back and do more VPs and CFOs, even though I've already maxed my Sellbot and Cashbot suits, giving the game a lot more content as a whole. I personally see myself playing field offices for a very long time, and I've honestly only really scratched the surface of the update so far, since there is a lot more I need to experience. So that is all I have to say for now, but I will be back soonish with a full review of everything that this update has to offer once I get to experience it all. So be sure to subscribe for that and some other Toontastic videos coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.